1 minute chart, it never pretends. Pull the trigger, my heart beats fast. Every second, the future's the past. One shot, don't ask me why. It's scalp or die. It's scalp or die. Oh, scalp or die. I'm living on the edge. Every tick, every breath I hedge. Scalp or die, the thrills my high. Win or lose, I kiss the sky. The screen's glowing, it's 3 a.m. Charts are moving, I'm chasing them. Candle whispers, they speak in flames. Risk is the devil, but I play his game. Quick moves, no time to cry. It's scalp or die, it's scalp or die. Scalp or die, I'm living on the edge. Every tick, every breath I hedge. Scalp or die, the thrills my high. Win or lose, I kiss the sky. Green and red, they're my only friends. 1 minute chart, it never pretends. Pull the trigger, my heart beats fast. Every second, the future's the past. One shot, don't ask me why. It's scalp or die. It's scalp or die. Oh, scalp or die. I'm living on the edge. Every tick, every breath I hedge. Scalp or die, the thrills my high. Win or lose, I kiss the sky. The screen's glowing, it's 3 a.m. Charts are moving, I'm chasing them. Candle whispers, they speak in flames. Risk is the devil, but I play his game. Quick moves, no time to cry. It's scalp or die, it's scalp or die. Scalp or die, I'm living on the edge. Every tick, every breath I hedge. Scalp or die, the thrills my high. Win or lose, I kiss the sky. Green and red, they're my only friends. 1 minute chart, it never pretends. Pull the trigger, my heart
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How we doing? GDP, inflation, trade today. Hope everybody's doing well. Oh, I gotta sneeze as always. Oh, man, I cannot wait to get to Florida next week. I hate New York at this point. Today is actually not bad, 35 degrees. We're going to 8 this weekend, to which I'm not really looking forward to. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Sound check, mic check, screen check, all check, good. Everybody having a good time? I am going to make your life so easy today. Oh yeah, now I heard the weather. Florida, I know because I have family. My parents live in Florida. My sister lives in Florida. Like what you consider to be crap is like what we look to as paradise. So it's all relative. It's all relative. I'm actually hoping. I mean, the snow. It's supposed to be like a massive snowstorm coming in on Saturday, Sunday. So I'm hoping shit's gonna clear because we're leaving on Thursday. But you never know what happens in New York. But hopefully it will clear up. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, I'm gonna show you. You guys saw me take the NQ trade over here. I'm gonna show you literally the coolest, easiest thing of how to trade everything, right? And I'm gonna put this on the screen so that nobody is confused. First of all, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this is all in ticks, so that nobody's confused. NQ, we're gonna put an 80 TP 160 stop. Don't worry, we're not gonna. That's not the actual stops. We're just gonna put an envelope. The whole idea is to put an envelope. I'm gonna explain to you what I've been doing. It is literally the easiest way to trade my dots that I have been able to find. And it actually makes just imminent sense, really, really imminent sense. I had a really interesting interview yesterday with this guy, Stan Ehrlich, who literally like is about 1,000 years old. And he's actually one of the first inventors of technical analysis. He's in John Murphy's technical analysis book. Like, he's ancient, but he really, really, really crystallized for me what needs to be done on the dot structure. And once I kind of realized it, I realized everything is down. Link is not working. What are you guys talking about? Guys, give me a you are I'm visible. All is good. Give me a thumbs up. I just want to make sure that I'm not having any issues on communication. I see myself on video, but you guys tell me. Where am I? Everything good? All is good. Peter says all is good. Let me just make sure that I see myself back to being visible. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I see everything. YouTube is fine. Okay. All right. So it's just internal. All right. I know that most of the time it's false alarm, but I just always want to make sure. All right. Okay. So first of all, a wrapper is just your maximum stop and your maximum target on a particular product, right? And then on gold, that's going to be 50 TP 100 stop. These are all ticks, right? I'm going to explain to you what I do with this and why it's such a cool structure. So I put these on just so that we basically have a wrapper on the structure, right? But, and this is where it gets really, really clear once you understand it. So here's a buy signal, right? I mean, this was a buy signal, but this is the buy signal I took. If the trade is supposed to work, right? The low of the prior buy signal, here's the neon prior, or if you, in this case, if this was the neon, the green prior, right? The low of that candle, that is your stop, right? So you start out like really, really wide. You'll see me doing this once trades start happening. You start out with this really wide envelope, right? Then you put the stop to the second candle. You figure out what the entry is. Usually it's maybe, 4 points, 5 points on let's say on NASDAQ, maybe it'll be like 20 points. And then you put the target to half the stop range, right? To half the stop range. And then if you want to, and I've been doing this, actually quite well, if it drops against you, you average in, you take a second position, like somewhere midpoint, right? Whatever, like maybe 5 points or 10 points under. And then the second stop comes up. You don't change the stop. Your risk doesn't expand. Your risk stays here. And the reason why is because if this low is broken, as you can see right now, this low is being broken, that means the setup has failed. It's an incredibly clear way to see the setup set. Like, for example, I'm not trading this right now because we got the news coming up in 15 minutes and we're not going to trade in front of news. But like right now, if I was to trade this, if this was non-news event, I would wait for the candle to close right here. I'd get short here and my stop would be above A1, the purple A1. That's my stop. So if you get short here, that's 83 against 96. That's not even a 20-point stop. And my target would be like, maybe 75, somewhere around there, right? That'd be my target. And it's so easy to resolve those trades, so easy to manage those trades, and so easy to understand if the trade is working or not working. Like there's just no doubt. You're not, hoping, praying. It's just super clear. Is the trade working or not? Half the target, and you can play around with it. Something maybe you want to make 40% of target, 35% of target. Depends on how much risk you want to play. But it's just very easy to resolve this stuff on a continuous basis. I mean, I can show you. Let me show you my gold trades on this thing. It's just look, winner. I didn't get a chance to trade. Like all of this could have been just so much clips. Here's a winner. The point is, I had to go make breakfast for my daughter, but like boom, winner. I could have had, I could have even had, this was a winner. This was a winner. This was a winner. This was a winner. Gold was basically producing $50, $60 per one micro contract every 20 minutes today. It continues to do so. Like if I wanted to right now, I could take this trade too. I'm just trying, I'm trying to be good and not trade in front of the news. But this is very much a doable trade. So this trade would have been in at 26. The stop would have been 23. Target would have been 27.5, right? Would have already made target. Just super easy. Now the question is, how many of these, how many neon greens do you follow? How many neon reds do you follow? I think that the prudent way is no more than 2 or 3. So if you're like 3 or 4 into the move, the move could be bigger, and you can see sometimes it goes 4 or 5 into the move. But then every time you kind of pressing your luck on the greens or on the reds. The first 2 or 3 very capturable, and using this envelope triangulation where you start wide and you just contain your risk. It's just money on the table, just money. Just you are in the prime. What you're doing is taking the prime trade. The first, clean breakout trade with very clean, definitive stops and targets. You should be doing easy money doing it this way. Everybody understand what I'm saying? I hope you guys are vibing what I'm talking about in terms of the super easy way to employ our scalping signals to our scalping strategy. Right? This way, you're not tied to fixed stops and targets. You can, you can organically respond to the market, and most importantly, your stop is now. Where this really kind of like open up my eyes to it. When we have the big breakout candles, like let's say this is a big breakout candle, right? Usually, sometimes our stop would be somewhere in between over here. We get stopped out, and this trade would still go forward. If you're in here and your stop is over here, and it's a halfway decent trade, you're almost assured of making money. Almost assured of making money. Yeah, I pretty much take the first signal in new trend, second signal. It's first signal, second signal. Sometimes, if you want to press it, if you feel really strongly, maybe third. It all depends on how much. Like remember, if you can catch a really good trend, there's going to be 6 or 7 signals. Like if you catch this, you can just run it all the way. It's just how much you want to press. How much you want to press your luck. I do like sometimes in trend you get the neons, and you get the green neon. So you get the green neon. I'm actually perfectly okay, as the trend continues to kind of trade this, because here you're going to be long at what is it, 27. Stop would be like 22. So it's a 5 stop, and you're targeting like 29. And boom, 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 3 or 4 points over there. You get it. The whole idea is this keeps you in trend naturally. You're scalping in trend naturally with slope, with incredibly clean, clear stops and targets, right? There's just no doubts about it. Gold is so easy to trade right now. It's because every single one of these things is good for at least 2 or 3 points. It's good for 2 or 3 points to the downside. And putting the stops over here really keeps you essentially out of getting unnecessarily stopped out. Have any guess on degenerate straddlers? Let's take a look, because I'm not straddling today, but let's take a look at where the expectation is, and then we can kind of figure out if it's viable. So, oh, sorry. Why is the core PCE? Are they releasing? This is weird. This is the month over month, and then they're doing the GDP stuff. I think the GDP. So it's interesting. The market is already kind of pricing in a really strong GDP, so it's hard to. This is a very tough one. I think it's going to beat. I do think GDP is going to be strong, but because the market is already looking for 4.3 against a 3.8, and looking 3.7 on the prices, I guess maybe I still think it's positive, because I think the prices are going to be more muted. So the price component, if the price component comes in like at 3.5, and GDP comes in at 4.5, I think NAS is still going to, and NAS wants to go higher. I mean, I guess my point is, if you're going to punt one way, like unidirectionally, you probably want to punt long. I think actually this is not a bad straddle to go both ways. I just don't have any Tradingview accounts that I'm going to be straddling with. I mean, any evals, because I've already funded all my evals. So, I'm not going to unidirectionally trade wealth charts. I'm just going to do it. But my vibe is it's probably not a bad idea to get in front of this thing. I think we could go 25.8. Come back to 25.6. Yeah, it's old data. Bennett says it's final Q3. He's right. The unemployment numbers are not the weekly jobless. Nobody really. I mean, I think they're still going to be pretty good. You can almost have like a very shocking surprise here. Weekly jobless goes to 22 to 25. I don't think so. I think we've been really, our economy is running hot, and I think for the most part, we probably have a pop. But I think today is actually a better day to trade post-event. So we will, we'll see what we can do on the post-event side. I'm just, so frustrated because there's so much money to be made right now, before the event with all my scalping and trading. But, we're just going to try and stay sober, stay good. I'm going to move to the 44 account. This is one of my funded accounts, and we're going to try this, probably trade it on a post-event basis here for gold and NAS, and see how it goes. We got 10 minutes to go to the open. But the more important part, the thing that I think is the technique, the cooking technique, that makes all the difference, is my wide envelope that triangulates to a really, really clean take profit. I mean, gold is just, look at this. We had a 10-point move here, nice and clean. You could have picked up 2 points, 2 points, 2 points on this slice, which is exactly what this is the perfect scalping slice, and this is a perfect scalping slice to the downside. So basically in an hour, you're looking at 10, 20 points. Or like, let's say 10 points of gold, which is amazing. Keith, I'm going to give the documentation Generally, all the documentation are sort of like the explanations are in video format that are archived for my coaching. By the way, coaching is tonight. If you guys want to join me, had a ton of people join us yesterday from Wealth Charts, and so it should be a really, really good session because I'm going to explain a lot of stuff today. Here's the coaching link if you guys want it. The deal is still very good. Yeah, I might create a PDF, Tony, if I can get the AI to write it, because you fucking know I'm never going to write it myself. So I may have Claude write the PDF and give the documentation on it, because I think it'd be good to understand. There's I'm showing you literally the what is that, like 9/10 of the glacier is hidden underneath. I'm showing you the 1/10 that's above ground. There's like 10 different things underneath here that are really, really cool that you could use. You're firing the laminator. Exactly. But yeah, today, if you guys want to join me on prop, please do it. Of course, our buddies at Apex, 80% off. Go buy them. If you want to straddle, I actually think it's a really good idea. Go buy the straddle right now. If you want to, let me show you how you straddle. This is what you do. You can't do this on Wealth Charts, so you have to do this on Tradingview. Because Wealth Charts will not allow you to both buy and sell on the same event, but Tradingview will do that, and you can do this. So you're going to go in here, go into your, make sure you have your authenticator. Hold on a second. Authenticator 156674. 156674. So you're going to log into your Apex dashboard, and this is what I recommend. I'm going to show you how I would trade it if I was going to straddle it. Go to Tradingview, because you can't, for this particular thing, you can't use Wealth Charts. Go to Tradingview, buy the 50,000. That's my favorite account. It's the easiest one to fund. Blah blah blah. Check this. Check the bottom over here and use the BK save. Always use BK save, because that will save you the most amount of money. That will take like a $150 account to like a $40 account. See, like 196 down to 40. Huge discount, right? Then go buy it. Buy two or buy four, whatever you want to do. If you buy four, then you can straddle gold and you can straddle NASDAQ. So you buy them. It's going to take you like 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes for them to set you up. You should be set up before the event is ready. And then this is what I would do on the event side. About 30 seconds before the event, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go, this is my favorite structure of how I would do this. It's 4 big contracts. So it's GC or 4 NQ. We're trading the big contracts on this, right? No stop. It's do or die, baby. There's no stop. Do not put a stop on there, because it's, you don't want to get unnecessarily stopped out. You want this trade to either win or die. And for NQ, the target is 156 ticks, which is about 30 points. And for GC, the thing is, I think 70. I think we did 70. No, it should be 77 ticks. That's it. 77 ticks, right? Because 750, right? That's it for G. And you buy one, you sell one. One of them has a 77 take profit, or the other one has a 77 take profit on the sell side, on the buy side. No stops on either. The way you would configure that on Tradingview is like this. Oh, sorry. Tradingview. The way you configure this on Tradingview is you would go into your Tradingview and right over here into your little sequence over here, and you would choose from the drop-down menu, take profit only, just take profit only, just that, and then you put the tick value on there, and you name it. And so let me just sort of show you how I would do this. I would do 156, no profit, no stop. I just call it like that, right? Say okay, and ticks, and you would put the take profit at 156, and you would save it, right? And then in the drop down menu, it shows up as 156, and then you would do the same thing for gold. Make sure you're on the GCs. Make sure you're on the NQs, not on the small ones, but on the big ones, and so on and so forth. And you are good to go on both of them, right? And that's how you do it. It's just super, super easy. And if the straddle works, boom, you get funded. If it doesn't, big deal. It's cheap money. We got 4 minutes to go. So those of you guys, 77 on gold, because it's 75 to profit. I give myself 2 ticks for commission and overflow. Which data is going to make the bang? It's GDP, which we'll see if it makes the bang. I'm not exactly, it's like Ricky Martin. She bangs. I'm not so sure she bangs. All right, that was a politically not correct joke. If you guys understand anything about Ricky Martin, but I'm in a Miami frame of mind already at this point. No, so I'm saying on a straddle, we're going to go long. This is why I'm saying you buy four accounts. One account goes long, one account goes short. You're on both sides. You're on both sides of the straddle. The PCE is the quarterly one. The monthly one is actually coming up at 10 o'clock. It's all fucked up because of the government shutdown. So the data is still kind of just trickling in. A lot of it is a little bit old, but it's worth a shot to see. The whole point is something going to pop or drop? That's what we're just going to try and bet on the fact that there's going to be enough of a pop or drop for some volatility to happen, right? We'll see. Generally, the pop and drop always happens more in NQ than it does in GC. So we'll see. We only need like 35 points of a pop or 35 points of a drop in NASDAQ. Sorry, this is my this is not the this is for my regular trading. The things that I want you to use is this: no stop. This is the moves, so on and so forth. Okay. So what time we got? We got 2 minutes. We'll hang out. We'll see if we get a little bit of fuel here. But today, it's kind of like, maybe it'll pop, maybe it'll drop. It's not a guaranteed, fuel ignition event, but worth a shot. It's cheap. If it hits, it's a fast way to get funded on the evals, and you're good to go. Again, I just want to make sure that everybody's listening to me, so I don't want to hear any bitching about wealth charts. You can't fucking do this on wealth charts. Do not fucking do this on wealth charts. If you want to do it on wealth charts, you choose one direction, because you can't do both directions. But you can do this on Tradingview and Tradingview. So again, I'm just repeating myself, so I don't have people screaming at me afterwards. No limit buy, no limit sell. It's market entry. Mohammed, market. We're coming in 30 seconds. Get into the market. Just get the fuck in. Get into position, and then let the market take you up or take you down. That's the idea. That's the idea of a straddle. We're not trying to be cute. We're trying to be in. You got to be in it to win it. Just get into the fucking market right now. Right now, everybody, if you're going to do this, buy and sell at the same time. 2 separate accounts. These are your spreads. We're sitting on gold right now, and I'll switch over to NASDAQ. We'll see if NASDAQ pops. We got about 15 seconds to go. So if you're straddling, I wish you luck. You're in relatively good position right now. We got about 5 seconds left. Let's see if anything pops on the news. I don't see NASDAQ popping. I don't see gold. Gold is, nothing seems to be moving that much. Where's the news? Okay, here's the news. So actual is pretty good. Growth rate is 3.7. Price is pretty much in line. Jobless pretty much in line. Everything is in fucking line. So prices are a little hot. 2.9 against 2.6. Profits are out of this world. Sales are good. There's nothing, the problem is it's just not moving because there's nothing, it literally did not surprise. So you're kind of flat. Now, what's interesting now is you're in the straddle, right? Gold is starting to move down a little bit, and actually gold might be working for you, right? I think I don't know if you came in at 29, you only need like 20, maybe like 3 or 4 more points. There you go. Gold. Did anybody hit the gold one? Anybody hit the gold on 77? Because I think gold would have worked for you. You came in over here at 29. You should be done, baby. Anybody got done in gold? Come on, somebody tell me you did gold and you got hit. Yes, Neil says you got gold. Okay, you got the gold one. Mohammed, good job, my friend. Good job. Mohammed was like, didn't even know what the fuck he was doing 2 minutes ago, and now he got funded. Good for you. Okay, TNT Global got gold, DRD got gold, So good. So in this case, this is like one of those unique situations where actually gold was the mover versus the NQ. That's why you do both. That's beautiful. All right, great. I'm glad everybody nailed the gold. As far as NASDAQ goes, now you can sort of do 2 things. You can close out both positions. That means you preserve your evals. You're really not, that much. Or gold. Actually, I see NASDAQ finally starting to move to the downside. So maybe the short NAS is working for you too. So that's, if you came in a NAS around 704, all you need is like 64 to make it happen. I mean, it's still bullshit move here, but if you get to 64, you might be able to fund NAS on the short side too. Yeah. So let's see if NAS is moving. Oh God, man. I'm sorry, guys. I hate colds. I hate sneezing. I hate being sick. I'm just the biggest pussy in the world when it comes to all that. So good job on everybody who nailed the gold trade, which is beautiful. NAS is going to just stick around. See, the only problem with NAS, and this is the only problem with Apex, is here's the problem. This shit went down. Now it's going to go back up. Your stop loss is now moved. Your trailing stop is just moved the fuck up. You're going to get stopped out on both of these things. And unfortunately, that's just the rule. If you don't get unidirectional move, you're going to get fucked on the Apex rules. That's so everybody who's in NASDAQ, you're probably going to get stopped on both positions. Unless you're long, if you're still in the long position because you survived the drawdown and the long just moons now. If long moons to 735, 740, you may actually make money on the longs. But the short is fucking shot because your stop on the short right now is probably like at around 715, right? Because you were like at 735 on the short stop, but now because of the retrace, it's probably 715. Maybe, I don't know. I'm watching this as NASDAQ dicks around, and if you guys make money on NASDAQ, that's going to be the Hail Mary trade of the day. We'll see how it's playing out. Oh, yeah. NAS is sort of topped out of this 2,700 and not really doing much. What do we got? An hour before the open. Let's see how it's playing. Now, if NAS goes neon red for me over here, I'll take that as a scalp trade now in my 44 account. We'll play it. How's gold doing? Gold did its thing, and now it's finally stabilizing a little bit. Now, here's the interesting thing. If I get if gold kind of stabilizes and comes back down to give me a neon red, I'm going to trade gold too to the downside because this is sort of a beginning of a nice clean trend with session lows. Yeah, I mean, I'll trade it my way, but I have to have a neon red label, or if gold sort of stabilizes and we start to re-rally, I'll wait till I get the neon greens. But the cool thing is I'm not going to trade until I get the labels. It's the labels that really, really give me separate the noise from the signal, right? The signal comes from the labels. So until I get the labels, I really have just noise, and I'm doing dick all. My favorite position in the world, dick all. Ben says 10 o'clock data might be more significant. Yeah, you may be right. Because, obviously, I think 10 o'clock data, because it's a month over month, and if PC is relatively cool, you'll be good. But honestly, listen, bottom line is, I am almost convinced, like I may be 100% wrong, but I'm convinced that NAS is going to moon now. If you're short, if your long position has survived this little fucking dip, I think your long position is going to print. As a matter of fact, I'm going to trade NAS with you. If I get a neon green on NAS, I'm going to trade it with you in the way that that I discussed earlier, and we will see if we can do my my proper structure on this thing. But I think NAS is going to moon. I think this, when you look at the whole thing, corporate profits up the fucking wazoo in terms of beating. Unemployment is still good. Prices are high, but not extraordinary. It's all positive. Plus, we're going to get $1 trillion out of Denmark. You guys, that's my favorite part. You guys heard that we negotiated some kind of a mineral rights deal to Denmark. So I was just thinking about this. Like, excuse me, not Denmark, or Greenland. I was just thinking about this. Like, if you're the 50,000 people that live on Greenland, you really had an opportunity to have a U.S. citizenship. And in my opinion, you blew it. Because if all of them accepted U.S. citizenship, first of all, they had obviously right and claim to all of the U.S. Rights as a citizen. But now what's going to happen? That whole piece of rock is going to be exploited by U.S. companies for U.S. benefit, U.S. defense. And the people who are going to be there, people are going to be there probably certainly going to make money because there's going to be lots of ancillary economic activity. But they're still going to be Danish citizens, not fucking U.S. citizens. So they won't have U.S. benefits and any of that shit. And I'm like, we're basically going to own this property in fact, if not in fact, if not in spirit, or in spirit, if not in fact. And they don't get the U.S. citizenship. That's just kind of silly. But yeah, it was definitely the art of the deal. It was crazy. What do you guys think about the whole Greenland thing? Hey, so now I'm getting clean. I'm going to go short on NAS if this stays, because I'm going to play it as I showed you, which is we're going to give short on this neon red on the close with a stop on the purple, above the purple, right? I'm going to adjust my wrapper if assuming this thing stays. Assuming this thing stays. All right, I gotta put my glasses on. No, doesn't setup doesn't hold, so no signal, no nothing. We're just dicking around. I don't know how your poor eval accounts are doing, but they must be just churning up and down, and they're probably within $1,000 of being stopped out on either side of the move. So keep me updated. I'm fascinated to know what's going on here, because this kind of churn. And what's really great about like understanding the straddle, when you understand the straddle within the apex parameters, right? You understand how this type of price action is just absolutely toxic for an apex account. It's toxic for any account. We don't like it, but why using large size against this type of price action this is what they love to do. This is how they stop. This is, if you understand the casino, this is how the casino gets you to bust out. It's the up and down chop, which absolutely triangulates your stops very, very short. It goes from a $2,500 drawdown to like $1,000 drawdown very, very quickly on both sides. You're at $1,000 drawdown on both sides. You're fucked both ways. Okay, and that's why first of all, when you're trading. Oops, hang on a second. You know what? I'm going to buy this, guys. Hang on. I'm buying this. And we're going to go underneath this green. First of all, that's my stop over here. And I'm going to go to, what is that, 700? So I'm going to go to probably like 710 on the target. Now, if this thing comes back down a little bit, maybe at around, I'm at 705. If this thing comes in, I'm going to put in a bid at 701. Oops. 700 for a secondary. But here's the thing that you're going to see is I'm not going to, if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I'm going to move my stop over here. move my stops targets over here. I'm not increasing my stop. I'm keeping my stop, because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't give a fuck. This is my stop. A1 is my stop. The A1 green is my stop. It's either going to just stabilize and come back up. It's already kind of a shitty setup because it's already red against me. A good setup should have just simply stayed green all the way through. But the point is, this just really, really crystallizes. And by the way, let's put this closer. Let's get the fuck out of here. Come on. Oh, come on. That was just, I almost made target here. I should have just simply marketed out of this thing. But what's really, really good about this is there is no fucking doubt that you are wrong if you're breaking that A1 low, right? As a matter of fact, it's probably going to do it. I had this 1 second opportunity to get out, and I just simply, I was yapping. But it's already a shitty setup. It's already a shitty trade by the very fact that you have a red candle here, right? The whole point is, if you're betting on continuity and greenness, the candle should have been green, right? You should never gone red. It's already, you're already fucked on your position. I'm stopped out, and I'm going to reverse myself, because now it's a clean red trade here. So I'm going to reverse myself and see if I can recalibrate, assuming this continues its structure. $28 seconds left. When I trade for real, I'm always trading micros, always. There are people who trade minis on their. It's fine. Like, it just depends on how you want to trade. Okay, so I'm going to go short here. Here we go. Short here. The stop is going to be above this A, and we're going to move ourselves to, come on, baby, right over here. See if we can make some of this back. You don't make it all back at once. We're going to just try to make it back a couple of trades at a time, because that trade was a complete fuck up of a trade. This trade, if it's a good trade, it should stay red all the way through, right? And come on, baby, come hit me, come hit me. All right, and now it hits me. You see, a good quality trend is just going to stay red. If you're on the short side, it's going to stay green, right? When you're following the dots and you're following the labels, it's so crystal clear, that the thing is working or not working. And by doing that, you stop like hoping, praying, making excuses. It just really, really keeps you. This is the focus part of the BFF. This is the no bullshit part, And it was kind of really interesting because it really just kind of came out of this conversation that I had with a guy, where he was just very no nonsense. He's like, there's only two things you do: you enter and you exit, and you better know the reason why you're entering, and you better know the reason why you're exiting. And like, when you put it that way into a crystal clear format, then it's a much easier way of dealing with it. You're not crying every time you lose. You understand why you lose, and you understand why you win. And your job is just to find as many winners as possible. All right, you guys vibing me on all of this? Everybody clear what I'm doing here? So we're still dicking around. It's 45 minutes to the open. It's still sort of very choppy. Let's see what gold is actually, really, really came down hard. There was a lot, as I said to you, the trade is in gold, right? I'm putzing around with NASDAQ, but the trade was in gold. If we went short here, so it is super easy money all the way around. And we'll try to stay on gold for the next hour or so, because gold is having these $20 to $30 legs. So for us to take out 2 or 3 points out of a $20, $30 leg is just like taking candy from a baby. It's very, very easy to scalp out as gold. I've just legacy. What am I trying to express myself? Basically, I'm saying that my bad old habits die hard in the sense that, you're always trading NASDAQ on news, but in fact, gold is the new NASDAQ, right? Gold is the new NASDAQ for everybody who's trading, and we should be trading gold. Now, also, here's the thing that I kind of want to show you. Imagine, suppose, you have this massive candle here. It's it's basically a $10 candle, right? In the olden days, we'd be like, $3, $4 stop would be stopped out. In this days, you have to. If you want to trade this tree, you have two choices. Just not trade this candle, or you're going to take this candle, you're going to short the candle, maybe come in halfway and resolve it this way. But you need the stop to be literally above here at 22. And if you're not willing to absorb that kind of a big stop, don't fucking do it, That's what makes the other aspect of this trade really good. You either commit to the risk or you don't do the risk. But don't cry about it if you got stopped out and the trade went your way, because it's all your fault if you don't read the chart properly in this particular format. I'm saying you as in a general you. Oh, George is asking me, where do I see the prop firms? Oh, you know what? Hang on a second, guys. Let me put the comments on the stage so everybody can see the comments. I see the prop business getting bigger. And I see probably a lot of prop firms becoming brokers. And I think you're going to see, I would not be surprised if Robinhood, went into the prop business eventually, because it's a great business model on its own. And it's a super, super good business model for brokerage, because it's kind of like try it before you buy it model. It lets people trade hundreds of thousands of dollars for less than $1,000 of entry fee in the exact same environment. And it creates, I think, a lot more customers for brokers than anything else. Is Apex safe? I believe so. I mean, $600 million in payouts is safe. So nothing is safe in life, but so far they've been great, and I absolutely love them. And they've paid out $600 million in payouts to people. We're gonna have, guys. So of course, anybody who's on this fucking stream with me right now, and you have not registered for Prop Trader Fest, which I'm putting in right now, you got to do it. You got to do it, please. I'm putting this. I'm going to even put this on Twitter. Please join us. This is all free. Please get in there, and we're going to talk about the reason I kind of thought about this is because we're going to have $1 million. Somebody who got paid out $1 million out of Apex, Candice Lau. She's going to talk to us about how she did it, how she achieved it, and I think it's going to make it's just a great inspirational story of of what she was able to achieve. So people are asking me, if that's a good firm. Look at this. I missed it. Look at this. All right, let's get long here. Let's get long on NASDAQ. So I'm underneath here. I got to be underneath the second one. And this is pretty much my target. Excuse me. And if this comes down somewhere around here, I'll buy some more. But basically, we finally did pop. Hey, anybody, any of the evals, were you able to survive, or did you guys all get blown out on both sides of the equation? I'm just curious. I'm absolutely, fascinated. Did any of the evals that were on both sides of the market in NASDAQ get done? Are you guys still alive in the NQ? Because if you're still alive, you should be very close to take profit on that point. Anybody still alive? Tell me if you guys are alive in those evals, because that would be like a miracle of nature that you guys survived it. All right, I'm gonna get second one, and now I'm gonna just move myself over here to the target, and my stops are over here underneath here, and let's see if we can survive this move. So it's a big pop. Again, if this trade is good, I shouldn't break this low. if the trade is bad, then then I eat it. But at least it's clean and clear. I'm a little bit late on this trade. I wish I was here. I wish I was this one. This would have been an easy trade, but I was yapping away. Looking at gold. Nobody's answering my question about the NQ evals. Was anybody on the NQ evals, guys? You guys, were you able to survive it, or are you blown out on the NQ straddle? Yes, no? Talk to me, babies. Blown. George says blown. Thank you. I had a feeling you were blown. DRD says, does that mean you're blown? DRD, were you blown on the NQ straddles? Yeah. I mean, I would have been shocked if you weren't blown. Blown up. Let me correct my English here. Yeah. George says we should have done 6150 with 10 minis, just big moves. That's not, so that's actually, I can't say that's a bad idea. Like, that's another way of doing it. And we should probably think about that. Basically, the idea here is you just go all in and you trade the immediate vol. And if the immediate vol hits you, you're good to go. Oh man, this NAS is just now going to torture me too. I came in like within what, a couple of ticks of getting myself hit, and now I'm printing red candles, which is obviously not where I want to be. But it is what it is. At least it's a clean setup. As I said, I'm late to this entry. We should have been here. That would have been a super easy trade. First neon, take that. Second neon is a little bit tougher because second neon, first of all, is huge. But I'm trying to do the best I can out of this particular trade, and we'll see if my trade management does okay. And if it doesn't, it's okay. It's all within relatively. It's all small risk. Yeah, George says that the vol is easier. Yeah, I mean it's not a horrible idea. Tony says he did only one account, but got out for a little gain after seeing weakness. All right, good for you. Good for you. I'm glad somebody banked it. But that's the thing with a straddle. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But when it works, it's really, really sweet. It works great. I told you I did like a synthetic straddle the other day. I don't know if I told you the story yesterday. So this was Monday, I think. NAS was like 2:30 in the afternoon. Like NAS was just selling off forever. And I'm like, okay, it's either going to turn or not turn. So let me just do a unidirectional straddle. I did 4 contracts, 156, no stop. And I said, I'm going to take a nap, right? I really didn't give a shit. And it was the funniest thing because I wake up from the nap like 45 minutes later and boom, easy. It was like the easiest eval I've ever did. I've never done an eval during a nap, but that was the easiest eval that I produced. So sometimes it just works that way. We got 855. sort of very, very quiet. Let's. I'm just curious to see if there's been any. So first of all, Prop Fest, right, guys? Prop Fest, Prop Fest, Prop Fest. I can't tell you enough because Kat, don't disappoint my work wife. She's going to be very upset if you guys don't show up. We actually have, at the last check, about more than 8,000 traders registered. So we're definitely going to have at least 1,000 people concurrently in the room. It's going to be awesome. 22 speakers. I'm speaking to the speakers all the time. It's going to be really, really fun. You guys are I think you're going to enjoy the show. But let me just, you know what I wanted to see? I wanted to see if anybody had anything intelligent to say on TikTok on any of this. Let's go to news. Really? Oh my God, that's actually terrible news. I will say this, okay? I will say this. This is my one political rant of the. I don't think anybody could disagree with this political rant, whether you are a red communist or a true blue conservative. What is absolutely broken in this country is the healthcare system. The trade got done, guys. And what I mean by that is you cannot run an economy where 25% of your whole fucking GDP is spent on pills and hospitals. That got done. You see that? See that? We held it. We had the right stops. We had the right targets, and that got done. It's just absurd at how much money we're spent. We have like the worst of both worlds. Essentially, communist healthcare at capitalist prices. So I don't have any solutions, but I know that, whoever solves that problem really solves America, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree, but I do think that I don't think anybody is happy with their healthcare coverage. I don't think anybody loves paying $3,000 a month for essentially no medical services, but maybe I'm wrong. Fresh session highs, guys. You know what? Let's go long. Let me stop fucking around. Let's trade. I'm a little bit late on this, but again, where am I in? I'm going to be behind this little green label, second one, right? Let's see if I can just make a little bit of more juice on this and try to bring ourselves up to salvation. So I am stopped against the A1s. A little bit late on this entries. If this comes down to like 729, I'll put a bid in at around 729 for a secondary entry right over here. If it comes in, I'll do it, and then I'm going to actually move again. I'm moving my stop up, not down. I'm triangulating my stop, not expanding it, because this is either going to work or it's not going to work in a clean, exact manner. Let's see if this come on, hit me. Come on, hit me. Where am I? I'm just going to get out of this trade because it's good enough. Good enough for government to work. So, the original trade where we got clipped, I made all that back. Now we're just going to, manage it as we go. You see how much of a sell-off there was, and we've totally survived it because we had the right stop. We also averaged down on this and had the right entry. This wasn't beautifully executed. When I'm not yapping away, I have much better entries and control in my stuff. But the whole point is I want to show you the wave pattern. You're buying down the wave, but you stay underneath the absolute stop. And if the wave takes you back up, that's surfs up and you're in profit. Everybody see that? As far as you can see the footprints of my trades here, and where I'm in, where I'm out, where I'm in, I'm out, and it shows you the whole pattern that I'm trading. And I think that makes it so much easier to understand the mechanics of what you're doing, and also to understand, why things are working, why things are not. Oh yeah, I trade evals much more aggressively. With Keith, the evals we trade. A lot of times we just trade one trade, win or die on evals. On these things, on real money, I'm not in the business of proving. I'm in the business of generating small income from each account every single day. That's my job. I'm not in the business of trying to prove my market right or trying to hit it big. With Apex, you can have 20 accounts, and I'm running like 1, 2, 3, 7 on Tradingview and 7 on wealth charts. And if it takes me 3 or 4 months to drive those accounts to pay out, I'm going to have 14 accounts, all of them going to get paid out. And most people are going to blow every one of those accounts, 3 days after they get them. That's sort of like, that's what we try to teach in coaching once you get past the eval stage. Let's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to, I just realized, let's trade gold on wealth charts and trade NAS on Tradingview. This will be good. And I'll trade this on on this eval account. I just need to configure one thing here, guys. For gold, we need to just, in this BFF, I need to show all, and I want to show both sides. I'm going to show both. Apply. Okay. All right. So the signals in gold, I'm just, I'm late to the game, so I'm not going to trade them. But this was all nice and clean. You could have taken this one over here, in full swing, and it would have totally worked nicely. Somebody's asking, do I use Trade Copier for accounts? Not yet, but we're going to move into Trade Copier a little bit later. It's kind of like, one step at a time. Learn to pass, learn to get paid out, then learn how to use Trade Copier. I think if we do it sequentially like that, most people are going to be trading much better than if just putting them all together all at once. Now, there's lots of guys that we're going to interview at the show who don't follow that format, but those guys are actually trading. Some of those guys are just, that's all they do is they're trading. So that's their job. And when it's your job, you can obviously expedite your skill set. But for most people, this is a side gig or a hobby or a fun thing. And I'm trying to, I'm trying to make sure that, you're hitting the ball into the court every day, to use a tennis analogy. Ben says there's a new feature in wealth charts that will auto cap your gain, so you can enforce your consistency on PAs. Yeah, that's really, really cool. It's very, very cool. Yeah, we're gonna do like a deep dive into the wealth charts, Trade Copier. I spoke to Rob yesterday. He said there's a whole bunch of new stuff that they put into it. So I did a video on wealth charts, and I'm gonna do like a video exclusively on the wealth charts Trade Copier itself. We'll work on that. All right, nothing on. I don't see any signals on gold for now. NAS topped out at the top, right? Still seems to be trying to figure out where it wants to go. We're getting to that 904, 910 zone where we're getting to the pre-market. So we're probably going to just hold off, and then we'll see what the market wants to do. We'll see if it wants to rip it or dip it or moon it on the open. Generally, honestly, the data is good. It's not great, but it's certainly good. I'm just trying to see if there's anything here. I mean, everything is just sort of very much in line. Natural gas jumped 75%. Extreme cold blizzards threaten Appalachian gas supplies. I always feel like natural gas is one of those things that either pops 75% or drops 75% in a day, because it's such a volatile commodity. So like I saw, this is here's a Lutnick talking about China opening up to Canada. I mean, I don't know if we have any Canadians in the room right now, but just one statistic blew my mind as to why Trump is like. I know we have. Should we take the trade here? Let's take a trade. What the hell? I'm going to take this MNQ trade. If it stays red against, and I really should be selling. So I'm going to take this trade against the purple because that's the right thing. This is what one next to each other. It's not. It's too small a stop against the purple. I'm going to see if I can bring this in here. And if this retraces against me, where am I? 7. I'm going to put myself at 15 on this entry. If I get a second entry over here, I'll move myself up. All right, now I'm gonna my stop still stays over here, and now I'm gonna bring my targets back up, maybe even over here. Let's see if we can resolve this thing. $908, so still got about 20 minutes to the open. Let's see if NASDAQ wants to do it. NASDAQ feels like it's just, randomly butzing around. So I'm responding to the price action the best I can, but it's, it's clearly very, very choppy little price action. Probably the open is going to give us a clue as to the directionality, but we'll see where we want to go there. All right. We got done on that, it's sort of a small scalp. But again, wave, right? Wave up, down, wave up, down. I'm just following the price wave. And the labels keep you honest on the price wave. So, good. That worked out nicely. Still working that 44 account, and I'll keep working it. All right. So Canadians. So back to my. So this is it. I did not understand just how much U.S. economy affects Canada, but 70% of all Canadian sales go to U.S. And when you think about that, you kind of realize that basically, it's the 51st state, whether you like it or not. It's when your economy is so contingent on one customer, that's the customer, that's the story. I didn't realize we were that dominant in the Canadian economy, but that's a sort of super interesting statistic, right? All right, we're sort of quiet here. Let's take a look. I'm sorry. Let's take a look at where's my wealth charts. Matter of fact, we'll just on the wealth charts. I'll just stay. I'll stay on gold, so we won't confuse ourselves. So here's gold. Not much signals on gold. Gold is sort of popping around at this 48. I think gold, certainly after several days of really, really strong moves, it's not unreasonable to think we could break the 4,800 today, come back down. So we'll see. Good morning, everybody. Who's new in the room? Come say hi to me. Where are you from? Tell me if you're new. Tell me if you've never traded with us. We're trading my favorite indicator, the one that I created called BFF, and I'll explain to you what we're doing. If you tell me you're new, I will explain to you what we're doing. So one of the things you're probably wondering is, how come I'm not getting any red labels? Well, remember, the range, we're always trading against the range. The range is really, really small, 6. We want it to be at least 7 or 8 to get there. Keith, nice to have you. Is there another? Oh, no. Keith, you've been asking all the new questions. You've been in the newbie. You've been asking questions. And Oscar from California, nice to have you. So we trade purely momentum trend or momentum scalp, and we use nothing more than just the moving averages and the price inputs themselves. All these labels are generated off the actual price data. So if the price closes at fresh lows, it gives us intensity, the intensity of the move. So if it's neon red, that means it's lower lows. If it's purple red, it's higher lows, not as good. We obviously want the neon greens and neon reds. Those are the lowest lows, most intense trades. Those are the signals we want to take. Oh, nice to have you. Where are you in Jersey? Where do you live in Jersey? Because I live in New York, but we also have a house in Bergen County. So I'm like there, I'm not there in the winter. It's pretty much a glorified closet, but we're there in the summertime the whole time. Jersey, by the way, this is a crazy, crazy, crazy statistic. I'm going to blow your mind. So New Jersey has 561 or 65 separate municipalities, right? It's the most crowded state in the nation. It's the size of like Israel. It has the most population, like per square foot of anywhere in America, but it has the most amount of separate municipalities. And it all has to do with like Jersey history. Rich people didn't want to share their schools with poor people, so they all started creating these new little towns. And basically every town in New Jersey has its own police department, its own fire department. It's really crazy, right? But here's the thing that just blew my mind. Northern New Jersey, right? If you add up all the northern New Jersey counties into just consider it to be like one metropolitan area, because honestly, it's all bullshit. You drive one street over, like I live in a town called Closter, and literally half a yard away is a town called Alpine, which like many of you may know because it's like all the rappers and all the movie stars like live there because it's only like 7 minutes away from New York City. Anyways, like if you were to add up all of these little towns and consider it to be the metropolitan area, and metropolitan area that would be smaller in size than Houston metropolitan area, right? Guess what that would rank on the population meter in like the United States. Like what number city would that be? If you just made like Northern Jersey into like a city called Big Jersey or Greater Jersey, it made it into like one single city. What do you think the population of that city would be relative to all the other big cities in New York? Would it be number 5, number 6, number 7 on the scale? So New York is obviously number 1. LA is obviously number 2. What do you think that city would be? if you simply made it into a single geographical entity. I was blown away by this fact. I couldn't believe it. You know what the answer is? The answer is number 3. Bigger than Chicago, bigger than Houston, bigger than Dallas, bigger than Seattle, bigger than San Francisco, way the fuck bigger than all those other cities, bigger than Miami. That's insane. And how many people live in these tiny little towns? And if you were to simply make them into a single, if you call it Greater Jersey, this is in northern New Jersey, 3.5 million people in like basically a footprint of a smaller than metropolitan Houston area. Pretty wild, right? Completely like, 80% of the state's population live there. Yeah, like just completely, hidden in plain sight is the whole story of Jersey. It's really fascinating. Number 3 in the nation, just incredible. Nothing moving, guys, because, what time is it? 9:16, 15 minutes to the open. Guys, we have to wait for the open to see if we get any signals here. But, you guys are all seeing the wave and you guys seeing the moves here. Very tight. Look at the range now. The range is like 19 points. Super, super tight. Like price action completely contracted to no action. And one of the key things that we do here, again, as I said, everything we do is organic to price. There's no the only derivatives we use is the moving averages. Everything else is price driven. So one of the things we obviously want to make sure, one of our key filters is that the range has to be X amount of a movement in order for us to have any signals. So when the range is yellow like this, there is no signals. The size that I want here, I think in this particular case, I made it very, very. Range is only 20 points. I just needed to have 20 points, which is not a lot, but at least it's just a minimum I need in order for me to have a legitimate possibility of a signal. So now range gets bigger. We're starting to get our first signal. The first signal is not the signal we want to take. We want the signal that's going to be neon green because we want the higher high signal. But at least we're building towards a potential possible trend setup for us. But you can see how the indicator develops the trade ideas for us against the price action. Yeah, it's completely, it's because I spend way too much time on TikTok, astrologer, and I get fed all this, and I'm also like, everybody's TikTok algorithm, of course, always is going to go to whatever you click on, and I'm always looking at like stupid shit like physics, geography, all those stuff. So it's like I vacillate between incredibly combustible political content and all of this, interesting scientific geographic stuff. So I am tempted. We got 10 minutes to go. I'm going to trade this thing. We got a neon green here at 728. It's going to be a relatively small risk for us. So, it's either going to work or not work. I got 20. I'm just expanding the chart so you guys can actually see this visibly. So if this thing holds this neon green, we're going to go long here with a stop at 21. That's hardly a big risk trade, but just worth a shot because we're going to try to work our principal idea. If this indeed is a long breakout signal, then we should work it. 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm long here. I got a bad fill. First thing I'm going to do is going to move our stop over here underneath here. And second thing I'm going to do is going to move our target really, really close and see if we can, hit our target here before the market opens up. But, oh, sorry, my stop is in the wrong place. My stop's got to be underneath the green one over here. Okay, so this is my proper stop. It's under the second green label. This is my, halfway decent target. Now I'm also going to, where am I, 31? I want to be probably at 25. Let me see if I can buy at 25. It's my second position here. All right, I'm in at 20. I'm in at 25. Again, I'm going to move my stop to my proper stop. I'm going to move my target over here to the downside and see if we can just resolve this thing, get out of our way. If this is indeed a uptrend, it will hold. If it isn't, at least we know we're out at the right position. Where's my, I'm trading without my glasses. Big mistake. All right. So it looks like it's kind of popping down, but not horrible. I mean, this is all small movements. So, no, we got stopped out. I got stopped out at the right place, which is this is where the trade went wrong. And it was as I said, it's either going to go up or it's going to just completely collapse on us, and it did, and it's fine. It was a tiny little clip because I had my stop tight, and that's the difference of doing it this way. You're not you're not absorbing unnecessary risk. It was either going to work or not work. Now, I knew it was like 10 minutes before the open. I knew it was going to be volatile. I just took it because, I wanted to do one more trade with you guys before the open because it's been so boring because nothing's been happening for the last 45 minutes. Let's see what gold is doing. Gold is also doing nothing. So we just have to wait. We got nothing going on. So we don't take any trades. Jedi Master, thank you. New to trading, you've been following me for months. Nice to have you aboard. I am really zoning in on risk management today. And I'm hoping a lot of people really appreciate that because, in my opinion, this is going to make trading so much easier for you, both financially, but most importantly, psychologically. Like, what was it? Oh, the guy said something really interesting in the interview. Shit. Oh God, I forgot how he used the term. I'm screwing this up. He was using the word for the stop. He didn't use the word stop loss because he thought that was like a stupid negative term. He was calling it a trade management or stop. I forgot. He had like a very positive view of this. Basically, the idea is that a stop loss is not a stop loss. It's a trade management. It's a risk management technique. I forgot the term for it, and we'll have to remember the interview. It was just a great term, but the idea was there's no such thing as a stop loss. There's just risk management. You either practice risk management or you don't. And like today, I'm really trying to show you how to practice risk management in the most intelligent way possible within our system. I thought it was a good way of looking at things. But there's no such thing as a stop. There's just risk management and there's profit management. Sounds good, right? 5 minutes to the open. Gold is still a little bit compressed here. We need to see 7 points of price action. So this little range box takes the absolute high, the absolute low, and if it's less than 7 points, it's really not showing us a lot of volatility. The underlying assumption for why we want range to be wide is because the bigger the range, the more likely there is some continuity in the price action. What this is basically expressing is demand, unidirectional demand, either demand to the upside or demand to the outside. But when there's no demand, there's very, very little movement, right? I use this analogy in wealth charts. It was a really good, I think it's a really great analogy to understand how what makes prices move. Actually, let's put that to the test. Let's see what you guys can tell. Why do prices move up and down, right? Can anybody, in the simplest possible way, what do you think is driving? What makes candles go up and down? What do you think is happening over there? Anybody want to hazard a guess in the comments? Let me know. I'll wait for your responses. Buyers and sellers, but let's refine that. Let's refine, like, when we go into the buyers and sellers, what do we mean? Like, why does supply demand, right? Okay, those are all really, really good answers to the actual mechanics of what's going on. So if you think about prices, and like you can see this, by the way, on this. This is a price ladder. There's a buy and a sell price action. Now, I'm only showing you the top line, but if you were looking at level 2, you'd see a whole bunch of offers over here, a whole bunch of bids over here, right? And that's literally your supply and demand line. You know, it's your shifting balance between supply and demand, right? And the way you want to think about this, speaking back to Jersey and the whole idea, this is my analogy of how you want to think about what makes prices move. I wish, you know, again, as always, the market, of course, teases us back. So no trading because 5 minutes to the open, but tempting, very tempting to take this trade. The busiest intersection in America, the single greatest choke point of traffic in America, is the George Washington Bridge. You know, a place I know intimately well because obviously, you know, I live right across from it on both sides of the river. So George Washington Bridge is one of the 3 ways to get into New York City, and one of the 3 ways to actually move from like, you know, Philadelphia and Washington D.C. into Boston and, you know, further up northeast, right? Because everything is over the water. There's 2 tunnels and there's the bridge. The tunnels don't allow trucks, so trucks can only come in on the bridge, right, above ground. And you're talking about thousands and thousands of trucks a day because you're moving through the busiest, most populous part of the United States of America, the Northeast Corridor. And this is the only place. This is like the only place where you can go from, you know, further north, from New York to Boston. So George Washington Bridge is the biggest choke point, and the greatest point of chokiness is rush hour traffic, right? It doesn't matter, you know, what you do during rush hour. You're going to get huge amount of traffic going either into the city or coming out of the city, depending on time of the day. And the reason why is because there is a finite amount of bridge. There's only so much bridge available. There's, you know, 4 lanes, on 2 lanes, and there's almost an infinite amount of traffic going into that direction. And if you just take that analogy and you think about prices, there's a finite, let's say there's lots and lots of buy. This, you know, market is open up and everybody wants to buy. There's only a finite amount of stock. There's only a finite amount of offer at the 750 level. And everybody wants to buy the 750. So the thing soars to 770, 780. Basically what's happening is this, you know, just like the traffic builds up, the price action builds up. That's how you get the big movements. It's the flow of traffic in one direction or the flow of traffic in the other direction. And the more flow there is, the more flow there is, the higher it goes. So this, by the way, this is off of news, right? And during news, you think of news as kind of like rush hour, where everybody wants to go one way or the other way. That's what creates the volatility. That's why we like to straddle the news. So if you sort of understand the mechanics of that, it's really, really cool. We got about 15 seconds to the open. Let's see if gold is doing anything. Gold actually has a trade. I want to take the trade. I think I'm going to take the trade. I'm going to do one. I'm going to do gold over here. And I'm actually, the thing about this is my stop is going to be all the way over here. So I really, really got to give myself some room on the gold. But if it comes back down, we'll average out. But this gold seems to be working, so fine. We're gonna let it play out, let it work here. So again, I am positioning myself against the labels. This is the nearest label over here in gold. Gold is starting to soar a little bit. You know, can gold hit 35s? Let's see. just going to bring this up and see if it'll just take me out on the move. Just going to come back to NASDAQ just to see what NASDAQ is doing. So NASDAQ is really, really dumping, right? And NASDAQ here is really dumping hard. And if we want to take this trade, I'm going to take this trade with you because I like the risk. I'm going to take this risk, right? And my stop has to be all the way above here, And we'll see if I'm going to make the target. Looks like I'm going to make the target. And I'm done on the target. Now, I was willing to take that risk because I liked it. I liked that move. And by the way, gold also got done. Gold got done over here too on the move. But you got to, if you like the risk and you had the right stop, that all worked. Right? If you kind of understand everything. So cool. Did you guys, I don't know if you guys picked, if you guys did the NQ trade or you did the gold trade, but both of those trades worked nicely. And they were both structured properly, against the setups that you wanted, right? Now gold is really, really soaring a little bit. This is like one of our favorite setups. I'm going to try and do this again. Gold is really starting to really pop here on the open. Where we hit, this is session highs. I believe this is session highs. Or no, this is just range highs. Why don't I have my session? I wonder why I don't have my session. All right, I'll worry about this later. Let's just hang on. Let me just look at this over here on this. Where am I on? Yeah, I'm at session highs. This is session highs. You really want to buy the gold. The gold really soaring to the 50s. I'm going to buy this over here. All right, and I'm underneath here on gold. This is my stop, and this is my target. I'm probably going to have to come back down. I'm at 42. I'll try to buy some at 40 if it needs to come down. But if it soars, I'm going to just trade I'm just going to trade the run here. Maybe I'll put the stop over here, the target over here. See if I can just pop it and drop it. There we go. Just this our favorite bread and butter trade. Big breakout against session highs, session lows. And I just, completely up on there. Now I just got to get rid of this one. I don't need the limit down. And we're back in black or back in green on all the positions. All right, good job on everybody who took those scalp trades in gold. Good job on everybody who took this. For some reason, I got to figure out why it's not showing me the session trades. Maybe I have it blacked out. I just didn't have it properly set up. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let me see. Yeah, it's showing. I don't know why it's not showing session boxes on this thing. I'll have to figure this out. Anyways, you get the idea, guys, right? You got the idea of the trades. So good on everybody who took the gold trades. Good on everybody who took the NASDAQ trades. Let's see what NASDAQ is doing. NASDAQ is setting up a second. So this is a second sell condition if it stays here. We're gonna try and sell this again. If it holds. No, I'm a little bit late. Okay, fine. I'm gonna skip this trade. But the trade would have been to sell here against the stop over here. This is a really large stop, so I didn't really want to do that big a stop. It's 66 against. This is like a 70-point stop. I really don't want to do this. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wait here and trade against this stop. So it's 37. NASDAQ starting to come down a little bit of a sell-off. This is the London session low. We're trading New York session low. Big drops over here, but this is still a big stop. It's like a 50-point stop, but I'm going to try and trade this with you guys. we'll sell this. We got to go on the stop. First of all, we're going to go stop against this and see if we can actually just make the target here. And we're good. And we're done. And that's it. I didn't even have to adjust the trade. So again, I was at the right stop. The momentum is there, and we're just putting more green on the screen. Putting green on the screen. God, now I'm so annoyed at like, what was the term that the guy used for the stop loss, which was so cool? Anyways, whatever. I'll ask the producer for the transcript. I'll let you know. But again, first of all, by the way, guys, I don't know if you noticed this, but I think I've only had like one losing trade, right? I think we got, maybe I had two because, I got clipped out originally. But like, look how accurate this approach is. I'm trying to be 5-1, 6-1. I'm clearly at that point. I think, we've had like 8-9. I'm like 8-1 today, if you count the trades. That's super, and without any stress. I'm like literally not, I don't give a fuck because I don't have these artificial stops against me that get tricked, they get tipped, and then the trade goes my way, right? It's really cool. You guys like the new way of like triangulating, wide envelope and then triangulating the stops to the target? Let's do a little poll. Let's do a little poll, find out if you guys like the new way of trading. Wait, I don't want to do Q&A. I want to do a poll. New way of triangulating. Triangulating. That's right. I'm laughing because God help me if I have to actually spell a word in English. I'm literally like a refugee off the boat when it comes to spelling in English. Thank God for AI. Yeah, Judith, right? I mean, Judith, this is a perfect structure for you because this gives you the breathing room. Like it's too fast the other way. The other way, the trades were just happening too fast and too sudden. Now market just turned on a dime. We did the pump and dump. This is why I say only one or two of the first the first neon labels is the only thing you want to do, because after that, unless we find ourselves in a long sustained trend, it becomes a lot more problematic. Like this was absolutely the last trade that we could have we should have done in this thing. We did on the open. It worked fine. Otherwise, it's good. Gold still looks good. I mean, I would still trade gold here from here to here. I'm late on this entry. If I came in, I would have already made my profit on this gold. But this is oh no, I take it back. I'm sorry. This is not a neon green. This is a regular green. So even though this trade would have worked, it's not the trade that I would want to do. If I get a neon green here off session highs, that's a trade you want to do against this particular stop. So you'd be, you have a neon green, you'd enter here. This would be your stop. You try to manage the trade that way. Yeah. Well, that's why, Wally says great technique, but you got to practice it more. Like with all good techniques, you got to practice them a lot to get comfortable. But I will say this, that, one thing it does is it first of all, mentally, it just, it really keeps you in the game because you're not sitting there going, what could I have done differently? The answer is not a fucking thing. You did everything right. If you get stopped out, you did everything right. That's what this strategy does for you. But the second thing is because it gives you variance and you stay in the trade longer than a minute or two, you're able to adjust, you're able to kind of maintain, and it's just physically a lot less stressful to manage these trades. I am resetting. My stop is always at the low of the second label. So you have the signal label and the label below that. So whatever the fuck that stop is, that is where I'm at. And if I got to move it up or I got to move it down, I hold it to that particular stop. That's the zone of control, right? That's where I know I'm wrong. That's where you run out of excuses. The excuse-free point. That's the excuse-free point of trading. So it's always, the thing about this is because the point is fixed, because it's a price level that's shown. You don't have to guess. The cool thing about this is that the stop is fixed, the take profit is variable. That actually gives you enormous amount of control, right? Whereas when you were doing, stop being variable, take profit fixed, you actually lose control. I didn't even think about this, Ben, but that's actually what's happening, and that's why you feel so much better in the trade. Your stop is fixed, your take profit is variable, so you are in control of that trade. When your stop is variable and your take profit is fixed, you have no control because you're just holding on, hoping that the take profit gets hit, and the stop is just constantly going against you, right? Again, sure, another trade here to the double bottom. We'll see if we give it a shot. If this holds, guys, no, it goes away. So no signal, no trade. Not trading this. I'm gonna rotate my accounts because I already P&L'd all these accounts. So let's go to 37. I'm gonna go to my 37 account and try to see if we can get some P&L into there. And drive that a little bit further up. Let's actually, you know what? Let's take this in the 37 account. So we're going to set it up, and it got done super fast. Holy shit, did I get done super fast? Wow, goddamn. All right, that was super fast. I'm sorry. As soon as I saw the red, I was going to put my stop all the way up above here, but no need. It totally hit. But anyways, you guys get the idea. Couple of things that are happening here that hopefully really help you. Number one, it puts you on the right side of the flow, right? You're trading neon reds, you're trading neon greens. That means the flow, at least the flow in that particular time frame, is on the right side. It puts you on the right point of no excuses, the right stop, right? And then it allows you to kind of manage in between there. Yeah, that was lightning fast. That was just like blazing fast. You snooze, you lose. That's not how it usually happens. But and frankly, it's almost too fast. Like for what we're trying to do. The whole idea here is that you're trying to manage them in a more less stressful way. Whatever I'm trying to say to myself. You guys get the idea. I know I keep tab on all my accounts. It's not hard. I mean, honestly, you want to know how I keep tab on all my accounts? Okay, so what you don't see is, and this is what's this is true, by the way, in wealth charts right over here. You can just keep a tab on this, but it's very, very easy on Tradingview. So let me show you. See. This particular thing is off screen. You don't see it because my screen is 2/3 charts because I keep you on the charts. And then all my trade management panel is off charts. So I literally, it's not hard. I'm just building greens all across my accounts. I just, I make money and I flip to the next account. Flip to the next account. So it's super easy when you set it all up like this. So, it's not like I'm some great mathematician. I suck at keeping track of stuff, but I'm visually, it's very, very easy to see that. So that's the beauty of both of these platforms. You can put all the accounts, and then you just simply, hey, this account made money. Okay, let's make some more. And then, okay, now this account is empty. Let's see if we can make money in that account. And you just grow, and you grow all the accounts one at a time. At least that's my approach, because that approach I was talking to somebody who's a very big, he's going to be on the show, really, really big trader, took a lot of money out of the market. He called it fragmentation of risk. You fragment your risk, because he was doing the same thing by allocating trade, certain trades to, if let's say you start losing, by the way, trade here, right? Trade. I'm yapping, but there's a trade here. 35 seconds left. If we hold, the entry is going to be here. The stop is going to be against this thing. Fresh session lows. Let's see if this is going to do anything here. 26 seconds. We're at the 600 level. They're trying to break the 600s. It's really moving. Jesus Christ. Wow. Starting to sell hard here. 8, 9, 10. All right, I'm short here. And I got to move myself all the way up here. Big, big move. And I'm going to have to, where am I? At 607. I'm going to probably put myself at around 25 over here on the offer. Because it's it's going to bounce back. It's going to rebound back. But this is the zone of operation where I want to be. I'm done. That trade is done, and I'm going to get rid of this secondary offer, and more P&L on the books. And that's it. It's like not complicated once you begin to understand and see the structure, right? Sabar, 300 USD. Nice job. Yes, you could really clean. So again, back to this whole idea of fragmentation of risk is, so the guy was basically saying, if you kill one account, you got 20 of them in there. But if you're trading all accounts at the same time at the same trade, yes, you can make money, but the flip side is you're going to just lose all the accounts. And it all depends on, he was a very, very good trader, and he was practicing essentially the same risk techniques that I was. And then actually more traders, the ladies who lunch, I call them the ladies who lunch. These are the moms that trade. They're going to be at the show. One of them is actually also telling me she started doing the same thing as I did, which is, rotating through trades in the accounts. That's the beauty part of prop. Holy shit. We are really breaking moves here. Unfortunately, guys, I gotta run because I have a million things to do. I gotta do for Prop Fest. So I really, really wanted to trade. I might have to even there's news coming up at 10 o'clock. I'm not going to straddle it with you. I'm going to leave you with that. But I really wanted to show you the technique today. Today was really, really all about the technique, and the technique is just working like a charm, right? Yeah, Brooklyn is saying, copy trading no more than 2. That's what the guy was doing. The guy was actually copy trading and also DRD. I think, who was it? The doctor was talking about this yesterday, how he segregated his accounts into excuse me, 3 at one, 3 batch in the other, 3 the other one, and all of that stuff. Oh man, I'm losing. I talk so much today. I'm losing I got so excited about all this stuff, guys. Look at the money. Look at the money. Look at the money on the charts here. I'm losing my voice here, screaming about this. Yeah, good for you. Good for you, Brooklyn boy. I'm glad you did that. Yeah, everybody. So the most important part is Judith, I'm glad you got the rhythm going. I'm glad you guys. Remember, this is our money hour, right? The money hour is the kind of 9 to 10:30 when you get not 1, not 2, but 6 or 7 of these free fall labels. And if you just trade, remember, look at the trades. What I'm trying to show you is that if it is a trend trade, you're never going to violate the second label high. Never going to violate it, which means that you are essentially completely. The power is yours to make money on that trade because you're operating within the zone where you have potential to make money, right? Ben says you got all 80 ticks. Good for you. I know it's just it's flying. I'm yapping and you guys are making money. I got to tell you, the most annoying thing about doing Prop Fest for Kathy is like this whole week, all I wanted to do was trade, and all she's doing is bothering me every 5 minutes. So like, there's so much money I left on the table this week, but I don't care. I'm super happy that I was able to really refine the trading technique with the labels, and that's the most important thing, because that gives you guys the power to control the trade. And once you have the power to control the trade, hopefully you're all going to be able to do well with it. Anyways, last pitches for everybody in the room. You want this, you want all of this, you want the indicator, you want the coaching, you want everything else. The only way you're going to do it is come into my coaching. The offer still stands, which is an amazing offer. You get the coaching. I'm going to buy you free Apex accounts. At this point, you're probably going to get like 3 of them. 3 free Apex accounts under 50,000, maybe as many as 4 on 25,000. I'm going to buy you free ones if you come join me. It's 7 o'clock tonight. Go sign up right now, and that offer is good. By the way, like sort of like if we stabilize, I don't know if we stabilize. It doesn't look like the market really wants to go back up, but if we stabilize, the trade here is going to be when we get the green neon, right? You don't do a turn until you get the neon, but then the green neon against that's going to be a great V-shaped reversal if we get that. If we get that move, I'm not holding my breath for this. I think we might probably trade against it. Well, we got 10 minutes before the news. We'll see how the news comes in. But this was a nice clean sell-off, and with our indicator, it just picked up every single candle beautifully as a trade. And if Apex doesn't operate in your region, our partner Ola is a great alternative. So and our partner Think Markets, we have 2 CFD partners. And by the way, Ola is also not going to be doing futures. So like if you are if you're coming from like an emerging market nation and you want to trade U.S. futures, it's not quite ready, but very soon they're going to be a futures prop as well as a CFD prop, which means you're going to be able to trade the same shit that we're trading in America here, even though you're an emerging market nation. So all of that is coming. Our partners are going to be really, really good. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody who's new. Tell your friends. And last thing, if I'm going to die, go register for Prop Fest. Go out there. I'm putting the link in here. Take all your friends, take all your girlfriends, take all your boyfriends, and come to the show on Saturday. It's going to be awesome. We're giving away more than $5 million worth of evals. All of our partners just gave us a ton of free evals to give away. And you're going to be able to see, how some of these guys are getting $1 million payouts. Some really fascinating stuff. Yeah. All right, guys. Everybody have a great day. We're going to trade. Tomorrow is going to be kind of I'm going to trade like 8 o'clock to 9:30 because Kay needs the room. So we're probably going to trade, early. Just see if we can. Probably going to trade gold in the pre-New York session because that's the easiest. It's the easiest money. But I'm just leaving you with this technique today. The technique is the money. Be my guests. Enjoy it. And I will see, of course, everybody today at 7 o'clock for coaching. So if you guys want to join me for coaching, I'll see you guys there. All right. Boris Schlossberg, and I'm over and out. Thank you, guys. Everybody have a wonderful night, wonderful day. Bye-bye.